Well, we're straight into our pistol round.
Right, yeah, we're Team Fragsters is sitting 6th right now, tied with a consortium of teams. VP's sitting at 4th, tied with, I call him Super Jimmy. But yeah, we're into the pistol round. Team Fragsters, CT side, looks like they're spread thin, quite thin, as Boopski's all the way over towards Banana, going toe-to-toe against 5 Ts, and he's gotten 2 of them. Not too shabby, but like I said, Fragsters are a little thin right now. Only 1 defender left to the B site as they all filter in one at a time.
Yeah, very good trade considering the setup. Already a Dink will be coming in onto Frostlev as well, but they've managed to turn things into a 2 versus 4. It's not looking good for the Ts, but they are going to go a little bit aggressive. Bialy taking 2 and leaves it onto Taz, who will find another. Leaves it onto just Stown. The last man left alive, doesn't have a kit, tries to bait in the push from Taz, but Taz is not falling for it. In fact, going to play Ring Around the Rosie, fall back, but still loses his life and the round. It will be the CT side to take themselves the pistol. And VP, well, they get a bomb plant, a little bit of extra cash. It's still not going to be ideal going into the second.
Yeah, that was chaotic from the Fragsters. It was impressive just to start things off with Boopski right there at the front end on Banana to get 2 kills right out of the gate. It should have been an easy tap-in from there on out. But still, VP getting that bomb plant in. They overwhelmed that 1 defender. Just can't hold on any longer. So now we go into the second round. Do VP buy up? They do not, because they've got that bomb plant. And they want to have the advantage coming into the third round, which looks to be that they'll be up against a handful of FAMI as well as an M4.
CT side should make quick work of this. Down, padding his stats a little bit more, moving himself to the top of the board. And, well, really all it is from VP in this round, try and do a little bit of damage. Try and make things a bit more costly so that there is at least 1 rebuy. And we know that in terms of the buy in this round, Fragsters, they're not trying to make money with the SMGs. They're trying to do it by keeping every single player alive. So even a single player dropped or a couple at a push would be ideal. The problem is, Stown has just absolutely ruined them. 4 kills already. Pasha, the only one left alive with the P250, and Stown wants this ace. You can see by the way he's trying to push into mid at the moment. A little bit of aggression coming out. It will in fact be a kill coming in for Pasha. We mentioned 2, but Bubsky will be there to trade. So 1 player dropped, all the rifles kept in the game. Not too much of a problem for Fragsters.
Yeah, Stavin get 4 kills there, and that's a good point. That does go over quite a few heads, especially on the NA side, is you're not playing to get frags with those SMGs. Sure, $600 sounds all nice and pretty, but you're not going to get 4 or 5 kills with that. Save your armor and all the utility that you purchased up. Make sure that that's the secured investment. So now they only lost 1 body last round. No big deal. So Team Fragsters keep 3 over towards B, and this is 2 over towards A. Corbin as well as Stavin split. Pretty close to one another, but Storbin's above and watching the balcony side, and is pretty passive at that.
Just realized why I was so confused. I was like, where is Dragonfly in the server? The AWPer for the team, he's currently called Guldsmedden, so that's confused Dragonfly. The hell out of me. I was like, what?
I mean, coming from an A, it's like, I don't know how to pronounce half of those names, and
Well, I think it's Stown, Frostlev, Bubsky, Storben, and then the bottom one is Dragonfly. So that'll make things a little bit easier, I hope. Either way, CT side, very, very passive at the moment. Sat all the way back. Not actually taking any peeks, just waiting for the aggression from the T side. I don't think VP will be used to this. This is incredibly passive. Something that, well, most teams are looking to try and take control, especially when you have the advantage with utility. You may throw the deep smoke into Banana. You may do a little bit more in terms of incendiaries, but nope, they're sat all the way back and just going to leave it down to the T side, who don't have much themselves. They do have enough smokes to get themselves into this A site, but there's still utility to spare for Fragsters with 25 seconds left.
Yeah, they got smokes for Arches as well as Library, but there's still a player over towards the corner. It looks to be Dragonfly, but he moves back into the side by side with Tavin right now. And they're going to get overwhelmed. Taz right up over the bow, and he takes both. They have no resistance to offer, and it's now just up to these Famai. Torben's down as well, and then Pit, he couldn't help out because the smokes were just perfect from VP. They had smokes that just blocked off any vantage point and corralled them into the site. Like I said, Arch smoke, Library smoke. They had smokes to block off Pit as well. So if anybody was not in Pit as they stand now, they were going to fall back into the site. So literally just corralling those guys into a tight-knit area, and that's where Taz just comes up over the top.
That round was actually very, very close, though, because the man in pit drops the bomb, and I'm pretty sure it got down with, like, it hit on the 4-second mark. Now, you get 3.5 seconds to plant the bomb, so T-side, a little bit too close for comfort, but they win the round. That's the most important thing. The CT side don't really have the cash to fully invest, so they're just going to play things safe themselves and try and do some damage in this one. They've already dropped 2 players and retrieved an AK-47 onto Frostlev, who has Kevlar as well, picks up a second, and now somehow they have the man advantage with 1 minute 20 left on the clock, and the bomb's dropped as well.
The bomb is recoverable, but spamming through, Frostlev has tagged Neo twice. Neo's able to get that frag. Boobski down below on Banana. Gets it done with a P250, catching Neo completely off guard. And the bomb is back into CT control, and they've recovered another rifle. It's now just Pasha spotting the first and recovering the bomb. Whether he knows that Frostlev has rotated all around or not, I'm not sure. But it does seem like he has one indication of doing so as he makes his way into the A site.
Yeah, I think maybe a bit of a lucky guess. I don't think there was much sound made by Frostlev, but it still leaves it into a 1v1, a situation that VP never should have been in this round. Next to nothing invested. It's already a success from Fragsters, but even in this situation, they're going to feel they want to win this. They want to take this away. Frostlev is going to check, but the footsteps have been heard by Pasha. He's now going to be able to sneak in from behind. He's played this absolutely perfect, and it will be the Poles to take themselves a second round on the board. The thing you have to remember, though, is 4 players dropped, a buy still coming back in for Fragsters in the next. This is the perfect time for a reset.
Yeah, there wasn't all that much money invested in that round for Team Fragsters. They did the damage by getting it done early with pistols, pushing CZs into the balcony room, recovering an AK, getting some additional frags, getting a kill at bottom of Banana with a P250, stealing an AK. It's just Pasha was able to save the day because that was a fantastic round for Fragsters by all means. Now, they are going to go for a boost up in mid right now. Some rounds are passing across, but it is Dragonfly over the top of that smoke to pick off Taz.
Decent start from the CT side. The aggression working out. A little bit unorthodox with the boost, and because of that, we are now going to see the T side having to work with a man down. Now, this is the reset round. Actually, for both teams, a little bit easier for Fragsters to come back for this, as they do have the loss bonus starting to build back up. They'll get 2,400 instead of the 1,400, which will be there to quell the tears of VP. However, are now looking to slowly push towards this B site. Aggression going to come out from Bubsky. He'll find the information and also just allow for them to retake a little bit of control. But they have actually rotated Dragonfly over, which may be a little bit early because the T side are not dedicated to this site whatsoever. Then again, you can look at the same sort of setup coming in from the CT side on A. Very passive, sat all the way back, just holding on to their utility. And this is something we saw Tyloo do when they first sort of upset on the scene on Inferno. It's just a pain to play against because you have to execute. You have to be wary of angles, and that's exactly what VP are going to have to do now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Not much left to play with in terms of utility, and no idea where the remaining players are.
Well, the T's have 2 smokes, a late CT smoke, but over the top is Frostlev, gets the shot down from the flower pots as Pasha tags one into the legs. It's going to be a 3-on-5. They haven't even taken care of any CTs yet, but they are planting the bomb nonetheless. They are outnumbered here entirely, and the CTs are going to work their way through the back door. Dragonfly is posted up, holding the first angle. The shoulder's there, and he spots Snacks. We'll pull him down from on high as your T side now reduced down to 2 and 1. Just Pasha now. Not much to be able to do here other than run. Smart move from Pasha, but it was an interesting strategy with the smokes that came out from VP. They threw these smokes, blocks off the site, and just would route them across through CT. Instead, they thought better of it after the CT smoke came out, and then as those first smokes has faded, they pushed up into the site. So VP get a bomb plant, but they drop the round. This leaves Pasha's op alone and possibly pistol armor behind it, but it's not much.
Yeah, I think not a bad round from the CT side. The way they've been playing, I would not like to play against a team who's doing this because they really aren't going for any aggression, or at least so far in the game. This round, though, a little bit more presence over towards Banana. They got 3 players currently waiting. Lots of utility being expended. A double nade onto Pasha leaves him with just 3 HP. And Frostlev is going to peek out for the first. Of course, the rest of the players were next to nothing. Pasha still manages to find one. However, on the other side of the map, we are losing Virtus Pro players. And with only Taz left alive, a P250, at least control of the bomb. But it is looking like Fragsters have a good opportunity to keep things nice and clean on their CT side. Taz, please don't tell me he's going to win this duel. This is crazy. Come on, Stown. He's got no armor, a P250, and you have an AK-47. You should be winning this all day. 3 HP. How many shots he landed now?
He's painted that back wall in balcony room absolutely red. Yeah, Taz is left alone, and yeah, he knows that he's surrounded at this point. He gets shot in the back. Boopski gets that last one, and we have a 4-2 lead now with some recovery from VP's economy, but they're not going to have enough for the op for Pasha, so it's going to be AKs for everyone and giving Dragonfly the full advantage of the only player of an op. Now, we've seen them play the op, smoking mid and boosting up over the top. I don't think that they'll do that again. That's kind of, you hit them with that once every 10 rounds. Otherwise, they'll learn. A team like VP, probably, if they ever see that smoke again at top mid, they'll just spam that corner.
I think Neo has spotted the AWP early. That smoke has actually left a little bit of a gap in it, but the CT side, once again, switching up. Going to go deep down into Banana. I am really liking what I'm seeing so far from Fragsters. I have to be honest, going into this, I wasn't too sure. Last time I saw them play Inferno was actually against Fours, a team nowhere near on the caliber of Virtus Pro, and they actually ended up losing that match, but they're looking pretty good here and now, and already Dragonfly will be there to start off onto Bialy, getting that man advantage once again. And VP so far have been struggling to get back in, but as I say that, Bubsky will fall.
Well, you still have 3 players on the A side. Staven hears the movements of Taz through arches, and the B site's open. Taz is going to turn and try and fight that one, but he's finally routed out. That could have been an impressive position from Taz if they could plant the bomb on this B site. But, I mean, it's wide open. The only player moving right now is Staven. Finally, the guys on the A side are starting to move after the audio cue was there. So you're going to have your op coming up from Banana. Torben as well as Staven are coming uphill across through construction. Only one left, though. It's Neo, 1v3. He's got the first one. He's back on the side of construction as well, but he's going to be flanked from Banana here. He takes the fight right off the get-go, but Dragonfly bests him. 4-2, or actually 5-2 now.
CT side. I feel like there's definitely been some like holes in their defense so far, but they have recovered quite well from them. I have to give them props for that because like we even see a couple of mistakes coming in that round, like Taz being able to sneak through. They do eventually take him down, so that would be the recovery situation. And also, I think it may have been Frostlev going aggressive on Banana when he's the only player on B. Like if you peek that wide when you're the only player there, you're leaving that B site completely open if you go down. So very risky from him. However, in the end, his team win the round, and now it's only going to be pistols. A quick rush up towards this B site. Multiple Molotovs to hold back Virtus Pro, and the peek out from Bubsky already nets his team too. The full rotation will be in. However, one player has managed to sneak through the smoke. May not make any difference, as it is a flawless round. Barely any damage done, and Fragsters are going to take their sixth.
Yeah, so Fragster's economy has grown quite a bit. You have a couple players that are a little low, but like Dragonfly, for example, the player that you want to have all the cash for the op has 10 grand. And that's because Team Fragsters have had like 3 rounds with 4 surviving, and I think 1 or 2 with 5. I think it's just 1 actually with 5 surviving. So they're very healthy rounds. Their anti-ecos are flawless. They don't overextend against pistols. They don't play close. So we have VP making a rebuttal here. They've got a full buy of their own. They are a little bit short when it comes to utility, however. It looks like Dragonfly's got that first frag. Snacks through the Molotov as well. Going to take considerable damage for not even having an opportunity to shoot back.
Nice synergy there as well from Fragsters. Not only the first pick, but then the Molotov just to try and help out a teammate as well. So it gives that aggressive AWP a little bit more than just one player individually having to try and steal away frags, as you know that you have support if things do go wrong. Once again, I don't know how many rounds that is now, but Virtus Pro lose the first man. I think it's almost every single buy round we've seen so far, as it has been Dragonfly just phenomenal at finding those opening picks. Now the T's again are having to come back from a disadvantage, looking like they may try to double back towards this B site as the bomb slowly pushes its way back down, still leaving a man up in apps, which may just be used to try and hold off any rotations, catch the players as they want to try and push back in, but they still have to find these openings. Quick push from Neo. He's going to be the man leading the charge. There's a man through the smoke who he has to worry about because Bubsky is not frightened of pushing through, finds two and a third as well, and leaves just the lurker left. Magnificent from Bubsky, destroying Virtus Pro. And Snacks, while 23 seconds, not really much he can hope to achieve in this round. Lost bonus is max. He may as well just keep his gun.
Beautiful work from Bubsky there, picking up the slack that Frostlift dropped. Bubsky nearly transferring from one to the second, and then the third returning back because it was just insane how quickly the first two dropped. I mean, it was Pasha to die first. It was the trail end coming across Banana and up in through the halls, but that second player that he turned on in water was lightning fast. And VP are going to need to take a timeout at some point, I think, and talk about how they want to approach a couple of these rifle rounds. They are, back to max loss bonus at this point. Saving one weapon from the previous round is actually the second time that VP are able to save a weapon. Last time, I believe it was an AWP. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
This time, just an AK.
Definitely not ideal for Virtus Pro. Normally, especially in like leagues like this, where it's sort of teams that they should be a lot better than, a lot more sort of practiced, and definitely stayed together a lot longer than any team in this tournament. You expect them to get rounds on the T side, find holes in the defense, and Fragsters, they haven't been flawless, but their CT side has looked very strong. They've gone for the sort of classic rotations and the AWP over towards Banana, then have 4 players on A. A fairly standard strategy. It relies a lot on Dragonfly to actually do the work here with the AWP, but he has been every single round so far. He's found that opening, made things very difficult for Virtus Pro. However, they are now going to be pushing into the stacks down. Finds the first to spray through the smoke, nets a double, and leaves only 2 players again with 55 seconds and no bomb.
Well, they've got action over towards the arch side. If there's going to be any saving grace, it's Bialy right now to come around this site. Bubsky, though, he's been on B. He's now on A, and he's doing work every time. Only Pasha's left. He spots Stavin over there. Stavin pokes out himself. I mean, his backside was a little bit wide right there, but comes out through the top end, and we've got an 8-2. I mean, what do you do if you're VP right here? You're basically to the point where you can do half buy, full buy if you're not getting any bomb plants. We haven't seen a bomb plant in 4 rounds. Fragsters have... It was already good Counter-Strike to begin with, but now they're buttoned up. They've got tons of cash. 3 players above 10,000. In fact, I saw 15 grand on Dragonfly. I mean, VP
post-buy as well.
Yeah, that's dangerous territory if you're VP, because there could be a time that comes up where Fragsters, okay, we lost the round, but they could play exits even with rifles, you know? Say it's a 2-on-5, just set up and make him bleed.
Side, they're finally going to take the hit. I'm hoping after this round we'll see a pause, because this will be the moment where you go, okay, we've got a buy coming up. If we win the next few rounds, we can still definitely win this on the CT side. A 9-6 scoreline or even a 10-5, I'd still believe the Virtus Pro could bring this back, especially with a pistol. However, if it goes too much further, Fragsters are only going to need to steal away around, and from the way Virtus Pro have been playing so far, the stealing away around almost seems harsh to the Danish side, because they have been clearly the better team. Either way, man in the corner. There's going to be Storm, and they're not going to check it. Well, Bialy does eventually. So it will only be a 1-for-1, and that's actually a rifle into the hands of Bialy, someone who has been able to do some damage across these rounds. However, Froslev will already trade things back, and he's more than aware of the potential of Bialy being a little bit sneaky around the back. That's going to be the kill, and the bomb dropped, and leaves just, again, 2 players left. 30 seconds. Of course, this time they do want to die, because you're going to want to get that loss bonus for the next.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the bomb dropped over there because I think it was Bialy was separated from the remainder of the team. Those guys were at the time over towards the apartment end. They catch a flashbang now, and they hope that they're alive by the time their eyes clear, and they do. They round the corner. 10 seconds. Got to worry about this. Pasha's there, and he'll die before the clock expires. So 9-2. Now we're going to have the rifle side of what I was talking about, if you're not getting the bomb plants between rifles and pistol armor. But it's to the point where anything beyond this 9th round is out of control for VP. Sure, 9-6, manageable, but the fact that you haven't even seen the light of day, the light of a bomb site in the past, like, 4 or 5 rounds, good luck. Pasha's got the op, the rest of the team coming up mid very fast, but Dragonfly on the first shot catches Bialy. Now he's got 2 players, one actually stopping and waiting in the boiler room. There's the op again. It's going to be traded out, though, as Stavin, though, has frags of his own. It's a man advantage for Team Fragsters. The fast play from VP is instantly shut down. Even the shoulder peek denying Pasha, or is he? I thought Pasha was going to have to fall off of that position, but Torben on the backside has Pasha dead to rights, lurking in the boiler room for oh so long. We're going to need to see another 1v2 clutch. Last time it was Pasha. This time, though, it has to be Snacks, and these are way worse odds. Last time, Pasha was able to take 2 1v1s. This time, though, he doesn't even have bomb planted.
CT side doubling up, going to make things very difficult, but Snacks does manage the first. Second rounding the corner, and Snacks has spotted him as well. Already tagged down to 29 HP. Storben going to try and reposition, wait for that bomb plant to go down. This is where his advantage is gained, as he knows roughly where Snacks has got to be, although I think he assumes he's further into the site. He's got this a little bit wrong. The bomb is in a different spot, but he will still snap onto the head of Snacks. Another round on the board. The bomb plant is going to help out significantly, and something I actually spotted in the previous round is, I don't know if many will have noticed it, but Neo and Taz didn't actually invest much into grenades, because they knew what they were doing. They had a set strategy for this round, which was go aggressive up mid. So they only bought a smoke and a flash. So even if they did need to rebuy into this next one, they had enough money anyway. Thankfully for them, well, you can actually see them doing it a bit now. Like maybe, oh no, maybe not, because they do actually run out of money. So never mind. But in the previous round, they did actually have enough cash.
Well, no, that's actually a really good point, because Bialy is the one that bought the op. No matter what. I mean, if they had spent those nades, they wouldn't have been able to have an op this round. It would have, if they didn't get the bomb plant down, it would have been 5 AKs with some utility. But money well spent. Pasha has his weapon of choice. What a great grenade, but there's the head stack. We've seen this before in NA, and it's been filtering around. I think NA probably learned it from the EU side. That head stack on both sides, between boiler as well as towards the other side of apartments, you can stack up ahead, and you're just peering up over for the most part of that big flat area, and that gets them 2 kills. That grenade early on did it looked like it did over 100 damage across 3 players. I'm not sure if all 3 caught that, but it's disastrous for VP right now. They're 2 men down, and they're running a little bit out of utility. They have 1 smoke left. The smoke's being extended now as Dragonfly's got 1. Taz is left with Pasha, but Pasha's dragging a little bit slow. Taz rounds the corner, catches Dragonfly, but he's lost his teammate. Fakes the bomb plant once, and it's a 1v2. He's got a chance. He's got another kill as well. Taz in a 1v3 to a 1v1 has choice. Dealer's choice of where to plant this bomb. He'll plant it safely. As the rotation from Torben at range and 1 HP. 1. The last round it came down to, I think, 15. Equally as close when it comes to rifles. But my goodness, these rounds are a lot closer than they were 6 rounds ago.
Yeah, the rounds may be closer, but the problem is the result is still the same. And Fragsters 11-2 up over on their CT side. Yes, at least when you have all of the full buys, I would still state this as a CT-sided map, but not to this extent. This is looking like old-style nuke at the moment. And VP desperately need to get the last couple of rounds. At least then, a pistol, okay, 11-7, sure, it's possible, but that seems a long, long way away, considering they haven't won a round in 9.
There we go. You're going to start it out. You're going to pick off a very valuable player. The op is now gone, and it looks like VP are going to snap that trap, pushing up into mid, but it's through a smoke. Yeah, straight in, and, you know, Stavin and Torben pick up freebies. At that, it looks like Snacks is now coming in, filtering and trying to pick up some pieces. It's even strength, but you have rotators coming across. You got Stavin in the apartments. Now, the flank on the back end has fallen. It's now Stavin alone 1v3. Maybe it was warranted pushing through smokes, but Stavin now is going to hear the bomb being planted. He's lost in the soup. He's got the first, though. Bomb's planted safely into the back of the site. Stavin, or actually Taz, playing incredibly intelligently, throwing a flashbang. Stavin has no information where the additional player is, but currently Pasha is smoked off the other side. It's fading. Stavin, though, is saving grace. 1v1 again versus Pasha. Bomb not directly planted for Pasha, but he has all the intel in the world, is where this CT's playing. Touches the bomb once, and he misses the shot wide right. He takes a ton of damage. Pasha now trying to recover is Stavin's going to press ahead. Woo! That was close. That was incredibly sloppy, but they got a round out of it.
I think out of the last three, that's probably the one the Virtus Pro may have deserved the least, because that was a lot of questionable plays coming out from the Polish side. The fact is, it's the individual talent of Pasha that actually saves them in quite a lot of those situations. Considering that comes down to 1 versus 3 and only one man survives, Taz now even going to do some extra damage to Bialy just to put him on difficult mode instead. But look at the aggression out from Stown. First kill goes his way, however. Unlike a lot of the other rounds, Bialy's going to quickly trade, and the advantage, if anything, is over to the T's.
So Pasha has clutched out 2 of these 3 that they've won so far. Right?
Yeah.
But yes, that's right.
He
won a 2v1 and then a 1v1. So that's dangerous. And I mean, they're lucky that this is the end of the half. You know, it's been a beatdown, and their economy is super fragile. They're lucky this is 15. Otherwise, the punishments would continue until morale improves. They've picked up frags, and they've wrapped the A site rather cleanly. Here comes Storben, though, from underneath. He's got the first, and that looks to be VP's 4th. Hopefully. Please. Oh, yeah.
Pasha, he's going to end it. And it will be an 11-4. Now, it is worth mentioning that Virtus Pro did have a similar scoreline versus AAA Invictus, but I think it was actually on the other side of the map. It was both teams actually picking up a lot of T rounds, and then the CT side were pretty lackluster. Either side, Zywoo having a +20 scoreline and still losing the map. Kind of says it all for him, but it's it's completely different set of rules here. As Virtus Pro, yes, they still need to make a ludicrous comeback, but this time they've got to try and do it over on the CT side, and they can't really afford to slip. They lose the pistol, they could be down 14-4 if they don't manage to steal a round away from the conversion, and yeah, they're really not in a good state in a match that I think most viewers and me as well would have expected them to win.
Oh yeah, I would have expected a much closer scoreline between these two teams, something maybe 9-6 at worst. And like I said, anything beyond that 9th was just icing on the cake. Fragsters now have 11 to start off this pistol round, and, you know, Torben's got the first as well. That was an information peek or an attempt to pick up a frag at range with those USPs and P2000s if they choose, but now they're going to put 3 players on A. This leaves Neo alone, and he's super, super aggressive at the bottom end. Dragonfly gets timed on after he looks behind him. He turns back north and ends up falling. Neo has shots enter through the body armor, mitigates a lot of the damage, but he's living at 36. Now the action on the A site starts. Traded 1-for-1 into the site they go. The site belongs to Team Fragsters and a man advantage to themselves. They've picked up some USPs as well. It's up to Neo and Bialy, who's just limping along as a walking wounded to save the day. He's basically, well, they're actually going to split up. I thought they were just going to try and directly trade and use Bialy as possibly a human meat shield.
You know, going to be checking the angle, but already his teammate will be down. It is down to Neo just to clutch this alone, finds the first, but has no idea where his opponent currently sits. Back into the site he goes, and he will find the headshot as well. 4 kills for Neo. Question is, does he have time for the bomb? It's going to be very close indeed. I'm not sure he's got this. It's just going off, and Neo did everything right. Unfortunately, his stopwatch was off by a couple of seconds.
So the kit was, I believe, in pit. So, I mean, how long does it take to walk from that site down to pit and back? Probably about 5 seconds. Probably more than that, but there's nothing much you can do. When it rains, it pours. That's just sad. The thing is, Fragsters now have a full-blown advantage. When you lose your pistol round on the CT side, it's not like you can try and recuperate some of those funds with a bomb plant in the second and still have rifles in the third. You're pretty much...
It's interesting, though, because that is what they're doing. They've invested nothing.
They're going to still have shy of... I mean, you got Taz down to 1,400. You'll get 2 rounds of loss bonus, which is, what, 1,900?
Well, that's the question, though. It's what they're going to go for. It's whether they are just going to double eco and go for an incredible run of rounds, which is something I definitely could see VP doing, or if they are just going to buy in the next round, a little bit of extra money on Neo for all of the kills he managed to get, and the rest of the team will just be playing with either UMPs or Famises. So it's one of those interesting scenarios where Virtus.pro are doing something that probably many other teams would not even attempt.
I don't know. If it's in the cards to play with SMGs in the next round, you can get maybe 2 rifles comfortably, but this is a map that caters to utility heavily, very heavily. So maybe it's just full SMGs the next round. If you're feeling like you're too far behind and you need to make a stand in that 3rd round of the half, then sure, go for it. But I don't see any change of pace. This is all Fragsters all day. Neo is boosted up above on top of the flower pots, but look at the backstab. Stavin's here, making the ingress so much easier for the rest of the crew, even against unarmored targets. Just a very efficient way to minimize your losses. Snacks is able to get a headshot or something. Not nearly enough. 4-13. This is the deciding round. Is it all 5 UMPs? 1 in 4. And a scoot.
It's a... Yeah, not overly surprised from Pasha to go for the scout. I think the one thing here from Fragsters is it's unlikely they'll be expecting a buy to come in here, but that's the only real advantage that Virtus.pro have going into this one. The rifles are favoring on the other side, and it is going to be a quick push out from Neo. Already, Molotov will be there, and he's slowly burning. He's just standing in the Molotov, and just 100 HP gone from Neo. Maybe didn't hear it. That is not the way the VP wanted to start this round.
To Jesus. 0. What? A full molly death. That stings. I mean, it was licking at his heels, but at some point, you got to recognize that the nerve system is firing. Here they come. A 1-for-1. Taz is able to get 2. Very important frags. Froslev's coming up from underneath, but still has his back turned to Taz. Snaps on him and breaks him in 2. Man advantage recovered for Team Fragsters, Snacks, and Bialy. Luckily enough, they have this M4, the only rifle that they had coming into this round. It does look like Dragonfly just snuck beyond Bialy's field of view over towards Boiler, but Bialy knows that he didn't completely clear this out. This is putting a lot of pressure onto Snacks. There's no trade situation yet until these two guys just rejoin over across the site. They've got kills. It's now just one. Dragonfly, who's come out of Boiler. 1v1. Snacks is there. Dragonfly thinks he was sticking the bomb. Snacks is able to get it, but can he find a kit? He's got the kit.
Oh,
he
no.
still doesn't have
Again.
time. The exact same situation, just like last round, or pistol round. There was a kit in pit, and the bomb was planted very near in the same position, and it takes just about 5 seconds to run to pit and back. And I guess we just got to see that as evidence. Exhibit B.
It's just painful for Virtus.pro. Once again, they get all of the kills. It does mean that in this round, with the amount of damage in the saved rifle and the kit, they'll have a little bit extra going into this one. Probably about the same scenario as if they just had saved all their money in the previous round. The one difference is they've at least damaged Fragsters along the way. Not a single player surviving, and it means that, okay, they still have some money left, but not anything too crazy. However, the difference is the CT side, if they don't win this round, yes, they'll have the loss bonus, but they won't have much else whatsoever. And of course, not to mention the fact that they will be so far behind, 11 rounds behind, if they don't manage to take this one.
It's a decent grenade. Bubski's down to 87. That'll help out in the instance where Neo can get a single tap headshot. You're going to refresh that smoke on Banana, and Fragsters haven't even thrown really any utility yet. I mean, you want to try to elicit some response. A couple teams recently have been using decoys, like on Mirage, just throwing decoys up and over the walls to make it look like it's going to be a set smoke strat when there's so many of them. And it elicits a return, a response of utility. Fragsters,
Misfits, right?
Yes, Misfits have done it, but it's ever since they did it, it's been coming down into the Mountain Dew League for NA as well. It's become pretty popular. But Fragsters have 4 players towards the A site, leaving the lurk from Bubski to keep the B site honest. So the defense right now for VP is certainly smoked off.
Oh, they're all rotating. There's only one man left on A. It's taken one smoke and one Molotov to pull the whole defense of Virtus.pro. They have been completely baited. say goodbye to Taz, and now the real decision will have to be, do they even go for this? Yes, they're very far behind, but do they really want to face in what could be the final round of the map with nothing? The answer to that question comes out with the CTs running away, and what a marvelous little fake. Just one player is enough to bait the whole of Virtus.pro tournament winners, championship winners into rotating off of the site. And you just got played, VP. That's all I can say. You got played.
You got bamboozled. So 14, 19, 24, and then 4 rounds of loss bonus, 29, on top of, oh, actually, they have no cash. I was about to say, I was like, you could probably send the UMP up, maybe the Mag 7 with the armor. But in fact, yeah, saving these weapons is more valuable because they need that utility on top. So they lost one player. That M4 is going to be recovered. And Fragsters are on the precipice of victory. And, you know, I think it's a matter of time. Even if VP managed to pick up 6, 7 rounds, I don't think that a team like Fragsters is going to let that happen. It's just tap it in. We haven't seen a streak like that yet of like 6, 7 rounds unless it was from the Fragster side.
Yeah. Maybe if they were on LAN in Poland, I could believe in a possible comeback with the crowd behind them, but staying at home, probably with a cup of tea next to them, I'm not really believing that Virtus.pro have the mental fortitude to turn this around. I think if any team in the Mountain Dew League could, it probably would be this one, but it's a very, very long way back, and Team Fragsters have just looked like the better team throughout. There's no real standout player over on that Virtus.pro side. I think Pasha had a few moments, but on this CT side, I don't even know if he's had a single kill. He's barely had any impact whatsoever, and that's not so much down to him. That's just down to economy and down to the fact that this team hasn't actually had a full buy the whole CT side.
Yeah, it's true. You can't get Pasha what he desperately needs. So this is just playing cleanly for Fragsters right now in this last round. For example, a lot of teams on the NA side, they're like, oh, yeah, we got a 15-4 lead. Let's just run at them, scream, just heaven sent, thinking that they can pick up a round, and they end up giving up like 6 or 7 and delaying the inevitable by so long. So they are starting to congregate up towards Banana. Staven, again, is the only player that's lurking back towards the other side of things. He just hides into the smoke, but action over towards B means Bubsky's got the first frag. Rotating in does appear to be Pasha. He's here with an M4, but Neo's on top of second oranges. Can he get one? He finds nothing. They don't even get anything with Pasha as well. The B site's there, and you still have the lurk from Staven. He's calling out that, hey, everything over towards the CT side's clean. Turn all your attention towards Banana. And they do.
Unbelievable.